Hello, everybody, and welcome back to reviewing every single WrestleMania main event in history. Today we are on episode 16, where we'll be reviewing WrestleMania 6. Technically, we'll actually be reviewing WrestleMania 2000. So, where we saw Triple H, The Rock, Big Show, and Mick Foley take part in a fatal four-way elimination match with a McMahon in every corner, where each contender had one member of the McMahon family supporting them. Triple H had, obviously, his future wife, Stephanie McMahon. The Rock had Mr. McMahon. Mick Foley had Linda McMahon. And The Big Show had Shane McMahon. I've never seen this match before, and it's one of the longest that we're going to have to cover, clocking in at 38 minutes. So I'm going to get started on it very soon, and I will be giving you my very raw reactions after I've seen the... Hey, everybody, just got finished watching the match, and this match, I will say, is a bit of an upgrade from last year. I don't think it's as good as 14 was. However, it is going to be number 2 on my top 5. Let's get into some preliminaries before the match begins. So Mick Foley enters first, accompanied by Linda McMahon, and he gets a relatively good pop. So Linda has brought Mick back for his final match ever just to participate in this main event. And he does come back in WWE a couple more times later on. He has a pretty good match with Edge at WrestleMania and a few others, I believe. However, this is his last major match before he leaves for TNA. Big Show is next, accompanied by my favorite McMahon, Shane, and he gets a decent pop. The Rock is out after that with Vince to a huge pop, much louder than both men combined, and Triple H is last, accompanied, obviously, by his wife and new women's champion, Stephanie McMahon. He's not played to the ring by The Game. He's not played to the ring by King of Kings, but My Time, his young H theme. He would get The Game, I think, 1 or 2 years after this, and then would continue to use that until he became Authority H. So, JR says at the beginning of the match that this match is a no DQ match and that falls can only count by pinfall. So, no submissions, no countouts, no disqualifications. So, Big Show begins with fighting Rock and Foley fights Triple H. Big Show takes control of all 3 men and slowly beats up all of them around the ring until all of them are down. He gets prepared to chokeslam Triple H. So he's got him in position, he gets him up, but Foley is able to run in and kick him in the balls. All 3 other men start targeting Big Show and beat him up for a while until Triple H and Foley start fighting outside of the ring, and Rock is left to fight the big man. So they continue fighting in the ring, and Rock is running the ropes, but Shane trips him as he's going by. Rock turns around to look at him. "Hey, what are you doing?" and punches him off the apron. While he's doing that, Foley comes up behind Big Show, who's resting on the opposite side of the ropes, and hits him square in the back of the head with a chair. This causes Big Show to stumble forward as the Rock turns around. Rock gets his arm hooked and gets ready for that. Rock bottom. I don't have Big Show, so Braun Strowman is Big Show here. Rock bottom, 1, 2, 3. The Big Show has been eliminated. So already, I believe, only 4.5 minutes into the match, it's down to 3, Foley, H, and Rock. Triple H, Foley, and Rock all get inside of the ring, and Triple H looks at Foley and says, "Yo, let's team up on The Rock." Foley says, No, I don't want to team up right now. Does it to The Rock. The Rock's like, "Yeah, okay." So Triple H walks in front of him, so Rock just attacks him from behind. And he and Foley beat up Trips for quite a while. And they proceed to the outside of the ring. So the Rock and Sock connection, as the commentators call them, even though they disbanded quite a few years prior, Rock tries to hit Triple H with the ring bell on the outside, however, as Mick is holding him, and Triple H is able to move out of the way, so Rock hits Mick straight in the face, and Triple H is able to knock down Rock. So now Triple H is in control of both men. He beats both of them up, and as he's working on the Rock inside of the ring, Mick finds a barbed wire bat and swings at Trips, but Triple H just ducks and punches him in the dick. Triple H then hits Foley with the bat, and Rock re-enters, and they alternate brawling control for the next couple minutes. As this is going on, we notice Vince McMahon, who remembers in the corner of the Rock, walks by the ring and he kind of sneakily just slides a chair into the ring, but nobody really picks it up or acknowledges it for a couple of minutes. So Foley takes control and starts beating up the Rock and gets multiple near falls and gets very close to getting him, but can't get him all the way. He whips Rock into the corner and grabs the chair from a little bit earlier and tries to run at him, but Rock kicks it into his face, so Foley is stunned. Rock has Foley completely beat, but for whatever reason, Triple H runs in, breaks up the count. Supposedly, the commentators say this is because Triple H himself had said prior to the match that he himself wanted to retire Mick, so it looks like he wants the pin so that he can get the win. So Foley and Triple H team up on The Rock, beat him up for quite a while, and they get a few near falls. They go to the outside and continue the abuse, and set up for Mick splashing Rock on the announce table. So Triple H is setting up Rock on the table, and Mick, who is represented by Warrior, because I don't have a Mick Foley, gets onto the apron and dives over with what looks like maybe a splash or an elbow, but he can't go all the way. He can't jump as far as he needs to, so he just kind of lands his sternum on the side of the desk, and it looks really painful. So Triple H himself has to go on top and put Rock through the table. But even then, it doesn't break. It takes 3 chances for this table to break. So Triple H delivers an elbow. The table kind of like cracks a little bit, and Rock starts sliding off. But he readjusts himself so he doesn't fall off. And then Triple H has to do it again, and then the table finally breaks. Eventually, Triple H has gotten back into the ring and delivers a pedigree to Mick inside. But Mick kicks out, and Triple H is, how did he do that? However, Triple H just grabs the chair, hooks the arms, and delivers a pedigree onto it, which eliminates Mick from the match. We are now down to Rock and H, the actual main event of this show. Big Show and Warrior were there for no particular reason other than getting the other McMahons involved in the McMatch. So, let's look at the actual main event from here on out. Mick begins to leave, but he runs back in right before he's fully gone with the barbed wire bat and smacks it right across Triple H's back. Rock crawls back inside of the ring and goes for the cover, but Triple H is able to kick out since Rock takes too long getting inside the ring. Rock takes control outside of the ring and leads him up the entrance ramp, a throwback to last year when the same thing happened with Rock and Austin. Rock beats him up there for quite a while, but works his way back through the crowd to the ring. Rock grabs the steel steps to swing at Trips, but Trips is able to grab a chair and hit the steps with it, and so they land on Rock. He then repeatedly smashes the chair into the steps, driving the steps into the Rock on the ground. Commentators say that the ref should stop the match at this point. However, since it is no DQ, doesn't really matter. So they're like, oh, whoopsies, sorry, that doesn't work. Never mind. So they work their way back, and Rock suplexes Triple H onto the other announce table. They broke the Spanish one earlier, now the English one, and they are both laid out at this point. Vince and Shane start to appear at this point, but first, Triple H throws the Rock back in the ring, and Vince jumps him from behind while he's not paying attention. So now, at this point, Vince and Stephanie are the only people left. Stephanie with Trips, Vince with Rock. But Shane runs back out and starts beating up his dad. But Vince, he takes control, but Shane punches him in the balls too. There's a lot of that during this match. And hits him on the head with a chair. Meanwhile, Shane gets in the ring with the chair, but Rock gets thrown into him and stops him from hitting anybody. Vince, after he's been, helped outside of the ring, has run back and starts beating up on Shane. Meanwhile, Rock takes control in the ring, and Trips retakes it with a knee lift and hits Rock with the barbed wire bat. Vince takes the steel chair and aims at Trips, but hits the Rock instead, whacking him right across the skull, and the crowd's what? As he's turned his back on the Brahma Bull. So, Trips goes into the cover, pretty stereotypical at this point. 1, 2, what? He kicks out. And the crowd says, oh my goodness, the Rock might actually win the match. It's a kick out. But Vince is like, He takes the chair again, smacks the Rock once again across the head. 1, 2, 3, and Triple H has retained his title in a 38-minute slog at WrestleMania 2000. So Vince and Stephanie align after the match, and Shane crawls into the ring like, oh man, what's going on? And maybe he's aligned with them, maybe he isn't. I don't really know at this point. But Rock, angry, runs back to the ring. Shane tries to attack him, gets hit with a rock bottom. 1. Vince tries to attack. Rock bottom. 2. Then Stephanie runs at him. Rock says, but Stephanie smacks him across the face. So 3 rock bottom to Stephanie as well. And every McMahon except Linda, who's already gone, has been rock bottomed by the Great One. So that's the end of this match. I will say this match, I might not have described it as good as it is. I do recommend you check this out for yourself. But this is one of my favorite matches. Not my favorite. I still prefer 14 at this point. However, it's a very skilled encounter between 4 very skilled individuals. Big Show did what he needed to do in the little time he had, and Mick put the work in for his last match ever before he was eliminated. Rock and Triple H obviously carried the very end because they were the real main event, as every elimination match is. The last two people are the main event. I'm going to give this match a solid A minus. I do think it was very good. I did like all the spots, and I think the McMahon-isms and involvement might have been a little bit too much. I don't think he really needed Linda there. Shane was kind of important, but Linda wasn't. However, nonetheless, I do think this was a very good match, and I recommend you check it out for yourself. Have you seen it before? Have you not? Well, as I just said, and this is the third time I'm saying it, I do recommend you do, even for the historical quality, if not the match quality itself. Make sure you have a good day, good evening, good night, good morning, good dawn, good dusk, good whatever. Watch any former or future episodes of this series, and goodbye.